open circuit. I think that that really speaks to the idea that we are migrating and moving through them. We're communicating on multiple dimensional levels through these. There's no one path. There's no three channels, ABC, CBS, NBC. It's very important to understand him that way. The story of June Paik is a global story in terms of born in Seoul, in Korea. His family had to move to Tokyo. He went to the University of Tokyo, and there he did his thesis on Arnold Schoenberg, one of the geniuses of modernism. And he realized that the idea of performance and music was something he really wanted to learn more about. And so he traveled from there through Calcutta to West, what we call then West Germany, because it was the center for new music, and would come in contact with artists who were to be central to his imagination. George Maciunas, the founder of Fluxus, and John Cage, who he met in the 50s. And then in 64, he traveled to New York because he knew that was the center of television. That was where the power is and where possibilities might reside. One of the things I came to realize is that Namjoon had a total command of media, taking apart the technology, making the medium the means to create a new language of expression.
Very often you have this stage of a TV set at home. You know, when vertical thing break down, it becomes like that. And you call repairman, you know? And I brought actually this, the TV set to gallery, and it got broken and only one disc on this shape. It was not interesting. I said, oh, I would not show. Then I said, oh, maybe I turn around here, like that. And then I put title Zen for TV, you know? So that's it, and it became the best piece.
Zen for TV is a central work. It speaks to who Namjoon is in terms of its origins, the culture he emerged out of, he never forgot that, and where he was. And the great lessons of Eastern thought in terms of the reductive image, compressing the cathode ray tube to a beam of light, then turning it on its side, so it went from this, a horizontal, to vertical, doubled its reductiveness, but you know, Zen is always about what's infinitely beyond what you think you see. I remember the phenomenon, if you shook your head in front of it, the image would appear. You know, there was a kind of investigatory, performative possibility implicit in all this work. He wanted to make video an open, fluid possibility of communication and engagement. And so the model for that was to have the TV something that you could interact with. So something like the magnet TV has this powerful magnet on top of the cathode ray tube, and you could move it and create patterns. And so it's this constant transformative process.
It is very, very hard to make a decent picture, technically speaking, you know? So it was very, very easy to distort them. Huh? So it was very easy to get something new by simply scrambling the picture. When you cut off one wire, you get a negative picture, you know?
Both the tension of seriousness, interactivity, the performative, and the process of transformation. And if you think of all those four things going on at once, that's what's going on in Namjoon's work. Fluxus was all about the playful joining of different objects together, redefining them in the process, and happenings were all about chance. TV Buddha, it's just the perfect work. It really embodies everything. Namjoon's genius was to put the Buddha contemplating himself on the monitor, and it's never changing. But it is changing. Atmosphere changes, things change. At its foundation is its connection of himself, the Buddha, through the camera, his medium, to the television, his goal of transforming it and bringing it back. Didn't have to be processed, developed, and then brought back in. It was real time happening, a loop. Namjoon understood that the video ability to record and see in real time what the camera's looking at expanded sculpture in terms of how the moving image could be integrated into an installation. This piece embodies all that, and that whole thing of the eternity of the Buddha. And you know, we always think technology is going to last forever and everything changes. The whole equation of a Buddha with a TV redefines the Buddha as much as it does the television. Candle projection. This is another perfect work. Having the video camera looking at a burning candle projected through that feed onto the ceilings and walls of the gallery. And so they're vibrating. And what is video about? Light. And what's the earliest form of light? Fire. And here he's projecting this fire in to turn the whole room onto fire, meaning turn it on to the light. Robot K456 was a remote-controlled robot that would shuffle through the streets and in performances in Soho. In 1982, we took the robot and had it walk down Madison Avenue, where he said, have it go across the street, and we staged an accident. It drew a lot of media attention, and he said, we're looking at how to deal with new technology and the threats of it. And I mentioned this in terms of the multi-screens and the technology, is that the robot really spoke to, like the TV Cello, his collaborations for Charlotte Moorman, to a kind of humanizing of technology, making it not some science fiction, but a reality through a process of handmade work. Namjoon was always drawn to the instrumentality, the global presence of the television screen. Because no matter how much we think of television very differently now, it's still a screen. It's screen culture, it's a screen presence. In building up a wall of televisions to distribute multiple channels of moving images was to create a new kind of mural. He also felt play and humor were a way to attract people to the work. He was very much about breaking the barrier to the work and to the aesthetic experience he was creating. At the center of Namjoon's being as an intellectual person and as a world citizen was the democratic possibilities of a deep humanism. It's interesting to fully look at the real transformative power across the 20th century of the moving image. It changed all the arts, architecture, poetry, theater, you name it, painting, sculpture, photography, everything changed. He was speaking to the future. It's all there. So open circuits, isn't that amazing?